orders, and they're away. Hughes was slow away down near the inside. That's Insatiable on the right of picture. Mick Cannan having a devil of a job settling him early. Now you'll slot him in behind. Royal Amaretto goes on though by a couple of lengths to Taipan, and then Insatiable looking for that rail. Daylami though is right on his inside as they race into Swindley Bottom. A length away Chester House on the outside of Faithful Sun. Polar Prince is back towards the rear of the field now as they race out of Swindley Bottom, and they've got just under 7 furlongs to travel. Royal Amaretto out in front by 6 lengths to Taipan. 2 lengths away is Insatiable on the outside of Daylami. 2 lengths then to Faithful Sun, who's tucked away on the inside there of Chester House from Polar Prince, and Hughes at the rear of the field, about 12 lengths off the pace. Striding out of Swindley Bottom now up past the 6, and Royal Amaretto out in front by 6 or 7 lengths. Royal Amaretto, Olivier Pallier out in front, blazing the trail here as they head up the side. It's Royal Amaretto out in front by a good 8 lengths. Now he's increased his advantage. He's trying to steal this, the plunge horse. Taipan giving chase in second from Insatiable Daylami. They're followed by Chester House and Faithful Sun. Further back Polar Prince and Hughes last of all. They leave the half mile behind them, and Royal Amaretto showing no signs of stopping. He's 8 in front coming to the turn, maybe 10. In second is Taipan from Insatiable on the outside. Then Daylami being niggled from Chester House. Further back Faithful Sun, Polar Prince and Hughes, but turning for home now, and Royal Amaretto has an enormous break on the field of the 2. Yeah, they're coming at him now though. He leads by only 4 lengths. Here's Chester House giving chase. Daylami behind them. Taipan checked badly. Then Faithful Sun the outside, followed then by Polar Prince. Insatiable has dropped back to last. A furlong left to go now, the Prince of Wales. Chester House strikes the front, grabbed now by Faithful Sun the near side. Daylami getting out from Polar Prince. 100 yards left to go. Faithful Sun on the near side, fighting back though Chester House, but Faithful Sun wins the Prince of Wales. Chester House is second, third then Daylami. Polar Prince was fourth, followed then by Hughes. Behind them was Taipan, who got badly interfered with from Insatiable, and Royal Amaretto, the early trailblazer, has finished absolute last. The winner is number 5, Faithful Sun, owned by Godolphin. Another one for them. Trained by Syed bin Sarur and ridden by John Reed. Second, number 8, Chester House, owned by Khalid Abdullah, trained by Henry Cecil, ridden by Kieran Fallon. And third, number 1, Daylami, owned by Godolphin, trained by Syed bin Sarur and ridden by Frankie Dettori. Fourth was number 2, Polar Prince. There is a steward's inquiry, not surprising. Polar Prince was fourth in the race, ridden by Philip Robinson. A major incident as they went to the 2 furlong hole. Insatiable and Taipan both interfered with there, but here's Faithful Sun crossing the line from Chester House, the far side. Daylami is the grey, and there is the winner coming back now. That is number 5, Faithful Sun. But let's have a look at that incident at the top of the home straight as we pick up the slow motion replay.
Well, Royal Amaretto had set a fearsome pace early on. He'd been steady just through the first half furlong of the race, and then Olivier Pellier had thought, right, let's go, let's really stretch these horses. And Willie, you were saying to me, wake up boys, wake up, he might not come back to you.
Well, it looks as though he hasn't got the trip, but he was moving so easily, and he didn't find the horse. Is very free, and he does it all. He doesn't need a jockey to push him. There he was. Now there's the problem here. You got Kieran Fallon just leaning on Frankie Dettori there, and unfortunately Frankie Dettori's horse possibly just got squeezed up a little bit, and he has finished very quickly to finish third. He might have just been interfered with by Kieran Fallon. It'll be interesting to see the head on when it comes. And John Reed coming on the outside, you know, nice time run, kept his horse going nice and straight. And
at this stage, I have to say, I thought Chester House might just hang on, but John Reed with the white cap just getting that last bit of effort out of Faithful Sun to go and snatch it on the line.
Yeah, well, he finished third in the Queen Elizabeth last back end, and he is a decent horse, so Frankie Dettori must have had a soul-searching night when he decided which horse to ride. There's Frankie finishing really fast. It's possible that Frankie thinks that he has been hard done by the second horse. Here we go.
Well, let's have a look at the head-on. You've got the grey horses Daylami. On the right with the pink cap is Chester House, the eventual runner-up. And at that stage, Daylami trying to go for a gap between Royal Amaretto on the left in yellow and Chester House on the right. And Kieran Fallon, you're right, is slightly leaning over, looking like he's heading for the rails.
I'm afraid Chester House is in trouble after he's run a great race, but he did take other horses run a little bit. He pushed them over, and I think the Pat Edry got slightly interfered with in the first instance. But there, John Reid, he's kept out of trouble, and he's gone on and got the money.
Would you have said, though, Willie, looking at that, and the stewards will have to ask themselves this question, did that interference actually mean the difference between Daylami finishing second or Daylami finishing as he did third behind Chester House?
It looks as though Daylami should have won the race. That's what it looks like to me, because he's finished with so much purpose. You know, another 100 yards, he still got up again. Anyway, the Godolphin team have won the race.
Well, the winner is certainly safe. A Faithful Son getting there by, oh, what was it, a neck or a head in the end. And John Reid, as he did on Swain when he wore the same white cap and blue colours here at Ascot, he picks up the second string.
Yeah, that white cap must be lucky to him.
And he gets away with it, doesn't he? He does so well, John Reid. But
that's the only 3-year-old in the race, Chester House. He's run a very, very good race. He's been running on soft ground all this year, and he's got on this sort of decent ground today, and he's ran a cracking race, but unfortunately he's caused a little bit of interference.
Faithful Son, the 11-2 winner, but Chester House and the connections there would be quite worried, I would say, Kieran Fallon. But a 20-1 double for Godolphin, 15th winner of the season for Syed bin Sarur, and the 35th winner of the season for John Reid. Let's check now the SPs on the Prince of Wales Stakes.
And the winner, number 5, Faithful Son, at 11-2, completing a 20-1 double for Godolphin. Second, number 8, Chester House at 20-1, and third, number 1, Daylami, the 2-1 joint favourite. Late round, the other joint favourite there unplaced was Insatiable, and of course there is a steward's inquiry.